but basically, flatting kings, you still obviously, if he has a fairly strong hand, you still have a good chance to get the rest of his stack regardless. On a lot of boards anyways. So, all right. Sorry about that short interruption. I got moved tables. I think you only missed like one hand. So, Jack 6-0. Think we'll just be folding. Trying to see if I recognize any of these people. I recognize this guy from an earlier table, but I think he's a fish. No Mercy, I recognize the name, but I don't know if they're good. They might be good. And then the rest, I pretty much don't recognize them. There's a couple of one-star players, so we could be in for a good time. Profitable tournament. Okay, we're down to 90 people also, so that's good. Tournaments have been running 4.5 hours. And we're already down to 90 out of 2,500 people. That's pretty good. And I am 6th in chips. Alright, go ahead and fold the Jack 4 suited. Trying to think of topics we can discuss while we're here. Possibly, I guess I'll talk about something that I think that generally lower stakes players need to work on the most. This is where we're getting. I mean, this guy's an idiot. He clearly has aces or kings, but I mean, his bet sizing is so idiotic because it basically gives it away. This guy's just probably set mining now, getting a monster price to call. But yeah, it's so stupid because if he just shoves, this guy's 3-bet, so there's a decent chance he has a big hand. And if he just shoves, then it looks more like ace king or something, and he could get action for the whole stack. But he like gave it away. He gave what his hand was away, basically, right there for sure. And this guy got away. And he's gonna have to pay the whole stack. Where if he had just shoved, he probably. I mean, there's a decent chance this guy had a pair and would call. So yeah, so what I think like a lot of players need to work on is they play the beginning stages closer to correctly. I mean, even though deep stacks are harder to play, at full ring deep stacks aren't that hard to play because you're essentially playing fairly tight and straightforward in the early stages. And I think a lot of decent beginning-ish like recreational players, they play the beginning stages fairly well, but they don't, as we've been discussing this whole video, they don't really adjust for stack sizes. Not only for what to do once someone else is opened, or what types of hands can you reshove with, all those things, but also just especially possibly their own opening range, because when antes are in play, it's so much more important to have a wider opening range, especially in like late position and middle position, and they'll still be folding the same hands that they're folding under the gun. They'll still be doing it once the blinds get this big. Now, this is pretty gross. This guy only has about like 16x, and he's opening in fairly early position. I think this is between shove and fold. Shoving is not too terrible. Our hand plays good when it's called, and he might fold some hands, but because he's opening from this position rather than like right here, if he was like right here, I would shove, or here even, I probably would shove. Here it gets a little close because his opening range from early position is a lot narrower. Pretty gross. The 16K in the middle. There's some fold equity left, so I'm actually just going to shove. Hopefully there's some fold equity. And he hasn't snap called, so I like my shove. Unless he has ace queen and he's okay. Well, big flip. You need a king or a queen. I mean, basically a flip. Boom. Gah! So sick. Oh Lord. Yeah, it's pretty close. I mean, he had ace 10, and he still called. So if he's like calling with all of his opening range, and ace 10 is probably the bottom part of his opening range, then the reshove's probably not that good. But at the same time, it was basically a flip, and folding would be kind of an error. So in that specific, against his specific hand, I don't mind it at all. But against his range, it might be a slight error. I don't know. It depends how much he, how often he folds like fives or fours or sixes after opening with them. Which he probably doesn't fold like sixes, but he probably does fold like fives or deuces. And it also depends on his opening range. But if it's wide enough to include ace 10 off, then it might be wide enough to include slightly worse aces like ace suited and stuff, which he would likely fold. Okay, open full 3x on A position on 16x with ace and off tank fold shove. I don't really like. I probably, if I was in his position, I'd probably just open shove or fold ace 10 off there. Yeah. I don't really like raise calling it against my reshove. My king queen is the only hand in my reshoving range that he beats, king queen suited, and even that I obviously don't always reshove there because I was pretty close to folding it free. So when he calls my reshove, he's like praying that it's a flip, and then a decent amount of time he's dominated. So yeah. We'll at least be calling this. Okay, and if he limps, we're going to be isoing him. 5, 2. This guy has to be a fish to be limping here. There's like pretty much not a single good player in the world who will open limp this hijack with these stack sizes. And okay. Now we expect to c-bet, I was going to say we expect to c-bet most boards and just win. This is a pretty bad one though. I mean, like, suited connectors are some part of his range, but we do have overpair and gut shot, and the thing is, the bulk of his range, I think, is like really small pairs, like sixes through deuces or something. So, and all of those are probably folding on this board. If we get check raise, obviously we just have to fold, I think. So we fold out some of, but like I said, like middle suited connectors are reasonable. But now, of course, we have the nuts, so that's fine. And snap call, and there we go. Bad game, sir. You played that like really bad. All right, sweet. And why does it say I'm disconnected? Okay, cool. And now, of course, we're out of position to the tournament's monster stack, and then right after him is probably first and second in chips, probably. Actually, no. What is it? First. He's obviously first in chips. First and third in chips, and I'm fourth. Look at first, third, and fourth in chips. Out of there's still 80 players left, and we're like right next to each other. It's so gross. And they're both to my left. It's so gross. I mean, that's just like absurdly, ridiculously bad luck on my part. Fold that to a full 3x open, clearly. Wow, I run so bad. If I was like at any other of the 8 tables left, I'd be in so much better position, because no matter like what the setup is on the other tables, I'd be virtually guaranteed to be the largest stack or in the top 2. And I'd be able to just like start abusing people a lot more efficiently. So hopefully this table breaks as soon as possible. So yeah, you saw a guy with the 8-7 suited just now. So bad. I mean, like, so bad because he's telling me exactly where he is when he open limp calls in middle position. He either has like middle suited connectors or he has a small pair. That's like that's his range, and I'll be able to play so efficiently post flop after that. Like if he had shoved on me there on the flop, I can just pretty comfortably fold. Even though, I mean, if he had with the hand that he had, he just had bottom pair, and I would have had 10 outs. But even then, I probably wouldn't be getting the right price. And obviously with the type of hand he had, he decided to just check call. So if he did check shove, it would be more likely that he has like a 9-8 hand or something that's a middle pair and a straight draw, or like a pair and a flush draw or something like that. If the other stack behind me, if these two really large stacks weren't behind me, is not the worst spot to open, except for this guy's short, and that guy's short. So they can all shove with, I mean, they'll all be shoving if they pick up any kind of hand. So for that reason, folding's fine. Alright, that's made a note, because this guy's running 31-31, and now he's raising this hand too, so he's opening like just a shit ton of hands, so just making a note of it. And now he didn't snap call here, so he's obviously pretty light here, because this guy only got like 15x, and he's not even, yeah, he called, but yeah. Open, raise, and he's suited in middle position on monster stack. Call is 15x, 3 shows, or 1 stack. Alright, we'll fold this. Down to 76 players. So I guess people are going out fairly fast, this is. And I've made at least $200.08 on my $50 buy-in. We'll fold this. Stacks right now are fairly deep between me and these three guys, so conceivably, especially when it's like button, small blind, big blind, or but whenever we're closer to like late position, or like when I'm in the cutoff or the hijack, there can be interesting situations that come up here where I can play hands against these guys, but I can't play against the other players at the table. Basically, specifically like speculative hands, like suited connectors and small pairs, because we are so deep stacked. I mean, relatively. I mean, we have like 70 big blinds. So I could open like a small pair, and they might re-raise me small, and then I can call rather than fold. Whereas if it's for like a third of someone's stack, which it often is in other situations, then I wouldn't be able to call. But because we're so deep, so basically, and because I have good reason to suspect that I'm better, at least than Paul McLean, possibly better than both of them. That's it's not. It's still, I still prefer to have position on them, but it's still not the worst thing in the world. This guy snap called it through that out of position with stack to pot ratio of 2 after a flop. So I mean, this is really stupid. I mean, unless it's like aces or kings, but yeah, that's just like idiotic. Really atrocious. Huge idiot monkey. Min raise, chimping off in the middle position, snap call, 3-bet out of position with stack pot ratio of 2, open, shove, 9-7-4, flop, RL. Okay. 9-8 suited. I'm just going to complete here, see if this guy, the only thing is this guy, I tend to, actually, I'm just going to go ahead and raise, just because I tend to raise fold. He's going to flatten me a decent amount, but that's okay. I don't want to like complete and then have him blow me up and not be able to do anything. So it's okay. So now I have the lead, and on this board, very unlikely to hit him, so I can actually just go ahead and c-bet. And we take it down. With 72 players left.